Well, hey there, I'm Jed.
And I'm Sandy.
And we are currently in beautiful Lake Havasu City.
There is so much to do here, from boating to off-roading, some great food, and the world-famous London Bridge.
But today we are doing something a little bit different and something I didn't even know about personally.
That's right. We are going to visit the 5 vortex sites that are located here around Lake Havasu City. And as Jed said, we had no idea that these even existed. So whenever you hear about vortexes, probably the first place that pops into most people's mind is Sedona.
Or the deep black void of outer space.
Yes. No. So back in 2019, Go Lake Havasu, the Board of Tourism here in Lake Havasu City, invited Pete A. Sanders Jr., who is an MIT graduate and the leading expert on the Sedona vortexes. They invited him to come out here to Lake Havasu and identify vortexes in this area. During that time, he was able to identify 5 vortexes, which we are going to visit them all and show you all of them.
First and foremost, we are not vortex experts. Like us, you may be wondering what a vortex actually is. So take it away, Mr. Sanders.
People always ask me, what is a vortex? It's just a label. It's a word we've put to places that seem to make it easier to quickly tap prayer, meditation, mind-body healing, or enhanced creative thought.
There are 2 different types of vortex sites. One is upflow and the other is inflow. So upflow sites are generally found at higher elevations. So think of things like scenic overlooks, a mesa, or a mountaintop. In fact, a lot of the sacred sites around the world, such as Mount Sinai and Machu Picchu, are upflow sites. These upflow sites are great for spiritual ascension, stress relief, and problem solving. On the other hand, inflow sites are usually found at lower elevations. So these are places like caves, canyons, and valleys. So because Lake Havasu City is in a lower lying area, it tends to have more inflow sites than upflow sites. Spending time here in and around the water tends to make people feel happy and more relaxed.
So let's see what these vortexes are all about. Welcome to Castle Rock Bay.
So Castle Rock Bay is located about 9 miles north of Lake Havasu City. It's in the Havasu National Wildlife Refuge area, and it's at mile marker 220 on the Colorado River.
And this place is named for this formation back here, known as Castle Rock. So Castle Rock is really popular for non-motorized water sports. So you can bring your kayak, your paddle board. There's also amazing wildlife out here. You can also fish out here, and it's also popular for hiking.
This particular vortex is supposed to be great for spiritual and mind-body development. It's considered to be a combination site because it has both the properties of an inflow and an upflow site. Mr. Sanders says that a combination site like this is great when you're looking for expanded connection and inner awareness.
So just sitting here and staring out at the bay, it is so peaceful and serene out here. But there's a huge bonus if you're a fan of paddle sports, because you can actually paddle out to a cave that's near here. And a lot of people like to go in the cave and meditate. Cave is kind of like a sanctuary where people can be one with nature.
Once you're done enjoying your time on the water, don't forget to take a closer look at Castle Rock. We have arrived to our next location. We are at the Rotary Community Park. There is a buoyed swim area right behind me that has been identified as one of the vortexes. So this park is located at one end of the Bridgewater Channel. So you can absolutely walk all the way down here from the London Bridge if you'd like. It's a beautiful, lush green park with amazing views of the mountains across the water. It's also in a no-wake area, so the boats have to slow down in this area to kind of protect the serene environment that they want to create here. So this vortex has been identified as an area to really help with intensive stress relief and special needs travelers. In 2020, Go Lake Havasu became a certified autism center, and now they have designated this area for special needs children, adults, anyone who may be overstimulated while traveling. This is an area for them to relax and to decompress.
Something I find really interesting about Havasu is that the residential areas do not have street lights. And what that means is that the night sky is perfect for viewing here. You can see the stars and the moon and everything super clear. Mr. Sanders says that Lake Havasu is like a giant float tank. He actually recommends you coming out here at night. It's December, by the way, so we're not going to be doing this. You can come out here at night, float on your back, staring up at the night sky. It's supposed to relieve all your tensions and stresses. So whether you're here to meditate or just relax, this place it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous, especially the sun is setting behind us. See the shadows in the mountains. The water's kind of changing color with the light. It just feels magical here.
We have made it to the third Vortex site, and we are here in Yonder Park. Cool story about this place, actually, this particular site. Now, if you remember, we said that Mr. Sanders came out and identified 5 sites here in Lake Havasu City. This site here was actually identified several years before he visited back in 2019, and it was identified as a Vortex site by some visitors and locals in the area, but he did confirm that it is an actual Vortex site when he visited. The cool thing is that it is in a residential area, and while that you may think that you really kind of want to get out there and be more connected with places, but this is actually really cool because we're not always able to go out in the middle of nowhere to meditate or to, you know, connect with nature, and this is a great place right in a residential area that's very convenient for people to do it here. Yeah, and then these views. So on one side you have views up the mountains, and then if you look the other direction you can see distant views of Lake Havasu. It's actually a beautiful park.
As we've said before, we're not Vortex experts, but all these spots we've been so far, this place is no exception. They just feel nice, and they have these nice, calm, serene kind of vibes. And the views, like Sandy was saying, are absolutely gorgeous. So even if you're not into the Vortex thing, come up here for the views. And despite being in the middle of a neighborhood,
it's just a great place to come up here, sit down and relax. Also, like, it's a tiny little mesa here that's just overlooking this little park. I could totally see people up here like yoga and stuff. I think it would be totally appropriate to bring your yoga mat up here, whatever, throw it down and
do your thing.
Do it.
So for the next Vortex, we're hopping in the van and we're going to head outside of town.
There are 3 sites that are very close to town here, and then there are 2 outliers. One is a little bit south of town, and then one is a little bit north of town. So we're going to head south down towards the little town of Parker to check out the next one. We have made it about 16 miles south of Lake Havasu City, and we are currently at the Takeoff Point recreation area at the Parker Dam, which is our 4th Vortex location. So we are currently standing at the scenic overlook here, and it is absolutely beautiful. So you can see the dam right here behind me, and it's like a spectacular view of the dam. You can watch the cars kind of drive by across it, and then to the other direction you can actually see the reservoir, so Lake Havasu, and sweeping views of the mountains. It's absolutely breathtaking up here. So in regards to the Vortex here, it has both an upflow energy and an inflow energy. Up here at the scenic view, you get an upflow energy, and you can actually just sit right up here towards the edge and just watch the water and the mountains, the sunrise, sunset. It's gorgeous. And then at the lower level down near the lake, you have inflow energy, and down there it's a great place. Like, we were just sitting on the pier and just taking in the water views. It's just listening to the water. It's just a beautiful place. The 5th location identified as a Vortex is Topock Gorge. So Topock Gorge is part of the Lake Havasu National Wildlife Refuge and is located 14 miles north of the city. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending how you look at it, the only way to access the gorge is on water. And we are just not able to get out there to the gorge right now. So we talked to Go Lake Havasu, and they've been kind enough to allow us to use some of their footage of the gorge so that we can share it with you. Topock Gorge is just as beautiful as any of the Vortexes in Sedona, with the added benefit of this beautiful blue-green water. Along the 4 miles of red rock canyon walls, there are several secluded beaches and coves perfect for you to relax, rejuvenate, and meditate. Mr. Sanders says that red and green elements like those found here in the gorge are the most neurostimulating of all color combinations, which is why people feel so uplifted when they visit here.
This entire area was actually used by the indigenous peoples as sacred and spiritual sites. When you visit here and see the beauty of the area, you can definitely see why.
So we hope you enjoyed visiting these vortex sites with us, and we hope that you just kind of got an overview of how beautiful this area is.
Be sure to check out the Go Lake Havasu website. They have a plethora of information on there concerning the vortexes.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit it. Hit that like button and the notifications bell so that you don't miss any of our future videos.
And until next time, stay wonderful.
Call it a day.